All bets are pretty much off the table now in Dragon Ball Kakumei, as King Sadala has pretty much forbidden the use of any transformations in his presence, but that isn't going to stop Vegeta from preparing the troops for the bloodiest war that the multiverse has ever seen. So, I gotta ask you guys, do you think Vegeta's making the right choice in training Kabe, Broly, and the others in their full power forms behind the king's back? Or should Vegeta be more submissive and heed the king's wishes before an uproar begins? Either way, a scuffle amongst the Saiyan race in this universe definitely isn't what they need right now, but for the time being, it seems that things are remaining calm for the most part. Across the multiverse, Frost has finally challenged Hit to a battle, but the stakes may have been higher than Frost was prepared for, as Hit uses the full force of his powers to dismember Frost, taking a leg with him. Elsewhere, Pan has begun training with Piccolo much like her father Gohan did at such a young age, with Gohan himself being on a mission with Jiren and the Pride Troopers of Universe 11 to prove himself worthy of their ranks. The way the multiverse is preparing for this war against the former angels is becoming very intense, as everyone is taking it up a notch. Even Goten and Trunks are in the midst of training with Whis in order to ascend themselves without needing to even fuse into Gotenks anymore. A huge shout out to Rinko, Darkhouse, and Poison for just putting together this absolute masterpiece. So if you guys want to check out DBK yourselves, the links to all of their Twitters as well as the original website will be down below in the description, so be sure to go check it out. I don't know about y'all, but I cannot wait to see what happens when Goku is finally released, or even just an update on what he's experiencing right now being sealed within Universe Zero. But first, we kinda gotta check up on what happened and what was the outcome of a full night of training Super Saiyans for Vegeta. As the sun shines magnificently across the training grounds the morning after, Vegeta is in the sky looking down at the ground on the defeated Saiyans below. However, there is one that's still standing amongst them. Broly is the only other one still on his feet, as Kaba, Kel, and Caulifla lay beaten on the ground. Caulifla makes a comment about, after everything that they saw last night, there was no doubt about it. Broly has the same potential as Kale. Broly has reached a height I could have never imagined, Vegeta says. The strength he possesses now is far different from when Kakarot and I first fought him. Kale, he roars, turning his attention to her next. You've impressed me tonight. You'll be a great teacher for Broly. As for you, Caulifla, he goes on next. You'll have to make that new transformation the best in your arsenal. Keep training to maintain that form and to access it more easily. So this pretty much confirms that not only are Broly and Kale obviously similar and immensely strong, stronger than Vegeta's previous encounters with either of them, but Caulifla also has a new form as well, which is really interesting. She tells Vegeta to be careful saying he's proud of her or anything like that, or he might end up ripping his tongue out. He reminds her that he is their teacher for the time being, so don't think that he isn't proud of any progress that they make, to which she simply brushes it off as they return back. Later, when they rejoin the other Saiyans, it seems the entire force is already in the middle of training, as Kaba mentions to Ruba that they started much earlier than he even expected today. No one wanted to go home last night, Ruba tells him, so we pretty much just trained the entire time. I see you're all finally beginning to understand, Vegeta says as he addresses the rest of the Saiyans before him. One of the soldiers thanks Vegeta, telling him that because of him, he now feels like he can reach his full potential, and he isn't the only one here that feels that way. This is when Vegeta looks around and sees the eyes of his Saiyan brethren, accepting him and being grateful for everything he's doing for them. These are my friends and the friends of my friends, the Saiyan goes on. When I told them about my experience training with you, they regained their urges to fight as well. It's nice to finally meet you, one of the older Saiyans says, walking up to Vegeta. I'm the leader of a town about 200 kilometers away from here. I was intrigued by the story of a man who was training Saiyans, just like in the good old days. Same here, another Saiyan speaks out. I'm an ex-soldier myself. The training stories reached me as well, and I thought it's finally time to return to duty. You are all well aware of the doom that may certainly await you in the future, correct? Vegeta asks. Are you ready to take on such a risk? If we're gonna die, the old man says, we might as well fight until the very end, right? That's the spirit. That's it, Vegeta says, fired up now. It's not too late. We might just win this war, Kakarot. Elsewhere later on, we see Bulma sitting with Rapini having a friendly discussion over tea. I've told you so much about my children, but you haven't really told me anything about yours. What are your kids like? Bulma asks. Rapini replies, well, you already know the most important things. My son Peppino, he's about the same age as Trunks. Well, the present Trunks, I guess. I know that story sounds crazy, it's hard to believe. I'm sure they'll get along great though, Bulma assures her. Oh, come on, I believe you, Rapini replies. This is when Bulma asks if Rapini's husband is training with Vegeta or something. I've known you guys for a week, but I've never seen him out there. Oh, my husband? Fighting? I'd love to see that, she chuckles in response. Bulma is shocked to hear of a Saiyan that doesn't like fighting though, but this is when Rapini tells her that her husband isn't actually a Saiyan. He's a Tuffle. Tuffles are a very technologically advanced race similar to the human race that lived on planet Plant with the Saiyans. A Tuffle? They still exist in your universe? Bulma asks. Of course they do, Rapini tells her. They've been living on Sadala for over 2 centuries now, and it's thanks to them that the king has lots of efficient guards close to him. This is getting very interesting now. So those guards that are around King Sadala were made by Tuffles. The Tuffles spend most of their time in their laboratories just north of the capital. They work hard every single day finding better and better ways to protect our families. So your son is half Saiyan. He already has a lot in common with Trunks, Bulma says gleefully. Peppino, who again is her son, isn't entirely Saiyan, she says. So he has the intelligence and creativity of his father while also having the strength of my people. He is truly a brilliant kid, Rapini says proudly. That's amazing. I hope to meet both him and your husband soon, Bulma says. This is when she also asks if maybe it's possible that she'd be able to go and see one of the Tuffle labs as well. Well, Rapini goes on, it's kinda difficult to get there even if we had a car permit. But you're just in luck. I'm a great woman with an even greater husband. He should be back tomorrow. He might agree to take us there. You mean I could get to go there as soon as tomorrow? Bulma says excitedly, to which Rapini replies, well, yeah, as they go on to celebrate the coming revolution of Sadalian technology. 1 month prior on planet Calumet, we see Basil and the rest of the dog trio speaking to Krillin and the others, asking just what it is that's even brought them here. Gohan told us that training with the 3 of you would help us prepare for the upcoming battle, Krillin speaks up. Ha! You training with us? They all laugh in unison. Wait, what were you saying about a message earlier? Bergamo asks all of a sudden. Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha look around kinda confused. You mean the message from the Grand Priest? Tien repeats. You don't remember that or something? Bergamo and the others are still kinda lost as Yamcha realizes that this could mean something very troubling. The Grand Priest's message must have been stopped by the clouds that cover planet Calumet, Krillin says. That would explain it. Wait, are you telling me there are thousands of planets that don't know about the situation because of a problem like that? Yamcha yells, with Krillin seeing that now they'll just have to fill them in on everything. Well, if that's the case, let us not waste any more time, Bergamo says after being briefed. I need to see just what you guys are worth. As the 3 Earthlings prepare for battle, the trio powers up looking just as menacing as they always do, but potentially underestimating their Universe 7 friends. The battle begins as the Earthlings show amazing potential against the dog trio, and I gotta keep it a buck, the art is just always the icing on the cake. I can never get over how incredible this always looks. Krillin tells the others to remember just what this is all for and why they're here. We're here to shatter our limits and push far beyond that, Tien says. Let's show Goku that all the years spent with him have served us well. The battle continues to rage on, but this is when 3 Earthlings reunite in the middle of the battlefield, with Krillin asking Tien and Yamcha if they're ready. The 3 fire a massive beam in unison together, with Bergamo saying that he didn't think these guys would show this much promise as they combat the beam. Basil comments that he doesn't understand, however. especially those two bald guys who weren't all that in the Tournament of Power. They're just like us, Bergamo tells him. Their true strength is in their collaboration, their teamwork, but separated, their individual power is glaring. With Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha putting everything they have into their final attack, a huge explosion occurs as the attack dissipates, leaving a massive crater in the ground, but the victors wouldn't be the Earthlings this time. Even though they may have lost, the Earthlings have shown amazing potential to Bergamo and the others, as even he admits that he almost got a little serious there himself. So I guess we should find a place to rest and heal them up now, he says. In the meantime, while everyone is putting in this work and busting their butts in training, we return to Sidra's planet in the presence of the gods. We have almost 2 years to finalize our little scheme, Sidra says to Ro. We need to get ahead of them and strike first, before they're able to react. Wait, what the heck is going on over here? This is when Mojito turns around, hearing that little suspicious comment he just made, as he walks over to him demanding to know just what they're talking about. Nothing important, Sir Mojito, Ro says, but Mojito demands that they answer the question that he just asked. What were you talking about? Really, we weren't talking about anything, don't worry, Citra repeats, but Mojito wouldn't be so quick to let them off the hook. Well, he says, towering over them now, I'll be watching you all the more from now on. Sir, Ro pleads, it's anything but what you think. I can assure you that we would never, ever allow ourselves to act in this way without consulting each other in the face of such divine conflict. Good, Mojito replies, as a very strange encounter comes to an end. When Krillin wakes up, he looks over to see Yamcha bragging to the others, saying, I told you he'd wake up without a senzu bean. Stop being so proud and be thankful, Tien tells him. Krillin looks at the state of themselves and can only honestly wonder, if this is their condition now, then what's gonna happen when they're faced with more numerous and dangerous enemies? Well, we got a little bit less than 2 years left, Yamcha begins. We'll learn. Anyhow, how will we know when the war will start? Lord Sidra and Ro will warn us, Bergamo says. We can trust them. This bald man here must be able to see through the clouds with that front eye of his, Lavender says, as everyone laughs but Tien, of course, who doesn't think it's so funny. Where did that eye come from anyway, Basil asks. This is when we actually get a pretty cool recent explanation of Tien's lore and ancestry a bit. I belong to the clan of the Three Eyes, which has this particular feature, he says, but it kinda doesn't exist anymore. During my childhood, the wise men of my clan loved to tell old stories about the power of the third eye. Some spoke of a divine power, others spoke of a prophetic sign, and some people outside of our clan even saw us as demons. But my elders have always taught me the difference between my strength and my identity. I joined the Crane School and met Chiaotzu, my best friend, but one day while returning to my village, my family vanished into thin air. I spent years looking for them, but he drifts off. So I made the Crane School my second family. Then I met Yamcha, Krillin, and Son Goku while they were studying martial arts in a rival school to mine. But going back to my third eye, it's nothing more than a physical characteristic. It has nothing to do with any special prophecies. There's a little bit of everything on Earth. I mean, the king of Earth is a dog, for crying out loud, Yamcha comments, which, yeah. So it's not that surprising to see people with an extra eye or even not having a nose. Well, don't look at me, Krillin says, knowing that he is the only fella here with no nose. Well, we were a great team, but that may never happen again, Yamcha mentions, looking down. Why would you say that, Bergamo says. This is when a rather cold silence overcomes the room, but Krillin would proceed to explain the other part of the situation. Goku was in Universe 19 when it was sealed off, so he's not with us anymore, he says. We have to continue on without him. This is not an answer Yamcha is willing to take, however, as he fires everyone's spirits up like he does so well, telling them that Goku is still with them, in their hearts. He taught us so many things, he says, and he always proved to us that it's never too late. We will win this battle. and I'm gonna rescue Goku myself from our enemies, he goes on. As chapter 8 of the legendary Dragon Ball Kakumei comes to a close. Now that chapter was fire. I can't wait to see what you guys have to say after that, and be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell because you do not want to miss when chapter 9 of Dragon Ball Kakumei goes live on this channel.